Good morning, Burbs. My name is Azalira, and yesterday we had the PSO2 Station Plus, which gave out a lot of information regarding what's to come in February and March and more. The stream was almost 2 hours, but I'll try to condense everything in a 9-minute recap here, so without further ado, I'm not going to waste any more time, let's get started. First and foremost, we are having our game's graphical update in the middle of February. Although a specific date was not mentioned, there's a lot of things to look forward to. For example, number 1, graphical options can now be changed from in-game. So you know the graphical slider between tier 1 to tier 6 and whatnot? Yeah, you can actually change all that in-game now. And also there's going to be a lot more graphical options too. For example, the effect distortion expression, the fur expression, anti-aliasing, spectacular anti-aliasing, maximum frame rate, anisotropic filtering, VSync, and more. Normally a lot of these options were not available normally in PSO2, so it will be not only cool to have these options available, but also be able to change them in the game. Although there's of course some that won't be applied until you restart the game, yada yada yada, you know the regular stuff that we see in all the modern games today. Which actually leads perfectly into the second point, that the game's graphical update is only a graphics engine overhaul. It does not mean that some of the old textures and all the everything is going to be any better. But what it allows is for them to put in what I call the new type models, which will be the models that will be used in PSO2 New Genesis into the game right now. These quote-unquote new type models are what we already saw on the New Genesis trailers and live streams. It's the models of your character where there's no gender-based locked stuff anymore and whatnot, and then we're going to be starting to having a lot of the finger movement lobby actions into the game, as well as a lot of the costumes that support the new type models. Which these models have very high fidelity, they're very rounded edges, they're not polygonal like the previous ones anymore, and then they also follow the new accessory slot system, in which the accessory slots are now based on the quote-unquote point system, where you can have a total of 18 points, and then each accessories can cost anywhere between 1 to 4 points. And so of course it will look a little weird using the new type models in the regular PSO2, but this is the best way that the game can help you transition into PSO2 New Genesis, because after all, New Genesis is more or less a quote-unquote expansion to PSO2. So better get ready before New Genesis comes out and have your new models ready, right? Although just as a footnote, you can still use your old type models in PSO2 New Genesis as well, and they will still support the new lobby actions and whatnot, but they just won't look as good because they're meant for having finger movement and things like that. Just a small heads up. So from here on out, a lot of the scratches will support these new costumes with a prefix of quote-unquote N, which more or less supports New Genesis models. These costumes will have very high fidelity to fit for New Genesis and also support finger movement. And it's one of the ways where SEGA is trying to let us really just ease into transitioning seamlessly into New Genesis. So if I were you, I would probably look out for a lot of the fan favorite costumes and grab them before you can't anymore, or they'll just become too expensive. Although I must say that this personally makes me really happy that we can actually prepare our models and characters and everything for New Genesis beforehand. We'll have to continue and see what costumes they do bring back in the future, and that's just going to make me very happy if all my favorite costumes in PSO2 will be able to transition straight into New Genesis. By, well, being revived to support the New Genesis models, which I will have to pay for my costumes again. And of course, with the new graphical update also comes the Screenshot Studio that we've all been waiting for. In this Screenshot Studio, you'll be able to access the areas that are normally not available in the game. These areas can include the story cutscenes, or even lobbies that are not implemented in the JP version of PSO2. For example, the Chinese version of PSO2's Dragon Lobby, aka the Chinese New Year Lobby, or very specific quest scenes only, like the bath scene in PSO2 Episode 4. You can even visit parallel areas as well, and then also change the environment accordingly, for example having the EQ notifications on the lobby. With this not only presenting a huge opportunity to do a lot of roleplays, skits, or machinimas like that, there's also a really good element of production as well. Because also available in the Screenshot Studio is a chroma key studio, where you can literally just change the background to pure black, pure white, green screens, blue screens, etc. This is amazing for content creators because we can do so many more crazy stuff in the game that is normally not available. Seriously though? This is probably the highlight of the livestream for me, because this is just something I've been waiting for basically 8 years. Hopefully all of you will enjoy the Screenshot Studio as much as I do, to be honest. And now for the last piece of content, we're going to have the revival of the ARKS Ship Fire Swirl emergency quest. This is something that was done as a joke, kind of like a gag back then in episode 1. Basically what you have to do is just run around the ARKS ship where there's a lot of fire, and then you have to equip these 1-star twin machine guns that are basically water guns and then, well, douse the fire. And also there will be a version of ARKS ship's Fire Swirl's OST, aka Burning Rangers, well, Burning Hearts from Burning Rangers, but it will also be sang by Ono Daisuke, which was the voice actor for Ash, and also known better as Jotaro from, well, do I really have to say? JoJo's, of course. But yeah, he voiced Ash in episode Oracle and will also be singing one of the versions of Burning Hearts, which is super cool. Now, the last thing for in-game events, we're going to be having the limited time event, which is basically the Chronicles event for Phantasy Star Online 2. We're going to be going through just about all the areas of PSO2, here and there, fighting all the bosses, yada yada yada, and it's going to be linked with a web panel event, which also includes a nice 24-hour ranking period. Just like every year, which last year, well, I kinda almost died doing it, but hey, being in top 50, that's pretty cool, right? Well, anyways, I don't think I'm gonna participate in this year's 24-hour event because I'm probably gonna really just like straight up die if I really do it. But you know, Cammy's probably gonna just drag me over anyways, so I'm gonna be ready for that. Although because there is a web panel, there's probably gonna be a boost week sometime soon as well, so please look forward to that one. Regardless, other than that, there's also gonna be the trade-in weapon badges for 2021, which features a lot of really nice camos that you can see right here on the screen. I think they look really cool. I'm going to be looking forwards to the Lin series, which is the left one here with like the blue and black edges. I think those look really edgy. Haha. I swear that sounded better in my head. But anyways, there's also going to be limited items which you can trade for stuff like the Ragdoll Memories, Liberate Unlocker, Divine Eye Stone for the cross weapons. There's also going to be Grain Crystals which you can get, and then various other things, including another new 15-star weapon series called the Rinza series. Having more options is always better than none, so I'll let you guys know as soon as I know how these weapons do hold up with the current endgame weapons like the cross weapons and so on. Other than that, revival scratches for old Phantasy Star Online stuff. There's also going to be stuff for Phantasy Star Nova, Phantasy Star Universe, which you can get the stuff from Ethan, Amelia, and then there's also going to be revivals for collaborations like Shining series and also Neptunia, which a lot of people have been waiting for to revive. And that concludes just about everything I think is important to say for now. There's quite a few more things and details that I did not gloss over, but if you would like to see the full recap, you can also go to bump.org here. Link will be in the description below as well, so you can read up on all the information. So to recap everything that was said, first, we'll have the graphical update somewhere in February. Our characters will have old type and new type models, and the new type models are what's going to be used for New Genesis and beyond. AC scratches and everything are going to have items that are repurposed for New Genesis, so be sure to get all of them, as they will support the new models, which have higher fidelity and also finger movement. The Screenshot Studio will be very fun for both role players and screenshotters alike. We'll be able to make so many fun contents out of that, and we'll see how it will pan out in the near future. ARKS ship's Fire Swirl is an emergency quest that is being revived from episode 1 that features a very fun gimmick of just dousing fires with literal water guns. And lastly, a lot of reruns for collaborations such as Shining series and also Neptunia series, alongside a celebration of Phantasy Star Online's 20th year anniversary. So what did you all think about this livestream? What are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to join my Discord if you want to have more of a discussion about all this. Other than that, take care of yourself and don't forget to smile. I'll see you all in the next video.